Hello everybody and welcome to the video. Today we're going over week 1 of 24 weeks of Hall of Heroes. For those of you who have no context, we can click on the event info here. We're getting 10 years of Hall of Heroes. That's part of the 10-year celebration or 10-year anniversary that we're getting this year, that we're celebrating all year round. But if you want to see what is in each week, you can just look through here, or you can click on this list and it'll literally give you every single LD from week 1 to the most recent one. So it's a pretty big event, and I'm telling you, take advantage of this event. I mean, every single week you can get yourself a new Nat 4 that you don't have, which I think is absolutely insane. But I will say this. In this video, I'm going to be giving you my opinion, and it is up to you whether or not you want to listen. I mean, I think I'm a pretty decent player. I'm not the craziest player. I'm not at the top of real-time arena or whatever, or I'm not on top of that. But I will kind of give you my insight, and if you feel like my judgment is good, then by all means. But again, take what I say with a grain of salt. I mean, at the end of the day, it's my opinion. I'm essentially telling you guys what I'm going to be picking. See it as that. I'm going to tell you guys what I'm picking. So, without any further ado, let's get into the video. So before you pick a unit, you do got to consider one thing. Which unit is more difficult to obtain, right? And you're like, that's a stupid question, or a stupid thing. They're all 4 stars. They're all difficult to obtain. And yeah, I mean, that is truthful. I mean, yeah, that's the truth. But the LDs are much more difficult to obtain, right? Because it's like, consider this. Within like a week, how many LD scrolls can you get in a week versus mystical scrolls? How many can you get in a month? Within a week, if you play the game enough, you can get upwards of, or a minimum of like 10. You get them from just farming in the game. You get them from just sitting there and going and doing a 30 times repeat battle in Giant's Abyss. Like, you will get them as a drop. Versus LDs, it's just like, if you play your cards right, you can get enough pieces to potentially get 1 LD scroll a week. Like, enough summoning pieces, potentially? Yeah, I believe so. But you're really only getting like 1 to 2, maybe, depending on events. But you could tell that you're getting more mystical scrolls than you are getting, LD scrolls. So when you think about it, getting like the Light Ninja or the Dark Pierret is much more difficult than getting like the Wind Undyne, the Water Rakshasa, or the Fire Ninetales, right? So in this video, we're not considering these because you can get these any day of the week. You could farm Giants B10 for 30 times tonight, and then randomly get that 1 mystical scroll and summon that 1 mystical scroll and get these units. The chances of you getting these 2 units are much lower. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna pick out of these 2 options because I think it's like, you're going to eventually get these units. You can get them within the month. But the chances of you getting these 2 units within the month without getting them through Hall of Heroes is far lower, right? I've seen some people say, oh, they summon her randomly. But, like the Dark Pierret or the Light Ninja right before Hall of Heroes, so it's like it makes the choice easier for them, but that's what we're choosing out of. So we'll go over the Light Ninja skills and then the Dark Pierret skills, and we'll make our choice then. So, let's go. So the first unit that we're going to look at is Jin, the Light Ninja. We're going to go look at his skills and then maybe look into some of the usage and all that stuff. But one thing to note before I get into this, I'm going to try and be as critical as I can about all their skills. If I think that their skills suck, I'm going to tell you that they suck. And we will at the end of each skill, not at the end of each skill, but at the end of each character's description and all that, I will rate them. They're probably better than what I'm telling you, but you'll see what I mean. So, with Jin, I like the attack speed lead. I'm on an LD only account, right? You guys know this. I mean, if you've been... don't even have to say, I know you guys watch my LD series. You guys make that. You guys go crazy with that. We're on the LD account, LD only account right now, so you guys kill that. I know you do. I see the statistic. I see the analytics. But so it's just like, they're all I'm gonna have a lot of units that could use this attack speed lead. I mean, it's a really good attack speed lead. But I wonder if it's something I'll actually use. So Skill 1 throws ninja stars to attack and inflict continuous damage for 1 turn. The attack will deal more damage according to your attack speed. So, a thing with most of the ninjas is you're going to go speed crit damage attack on almost every single one of these ninjas, if not every single one of these. Which, early game, you're probably going to go like Swift Blade. Late game, you would probably go Violent Blade, Violent Nemesis, or Violent Will. You could also go Rage Blade, depending, but I mean, they can push out a lot of damage, especially since you see his base speed is 107. It's not bad. Skill 2 is Slicing Winds. Inflicts great damage by slashing the enemy with the energy... Oh my god, what? Inflicts great damage by slashing the enemy with the energy of the sword and absorb the enemy's attack bar by 50%. The damage of the skill increases according to your attack speed, and it's done every 2 turns when fully skilled up. So, that is not a bad skill 2. It's not crazy, obviously. Again, one thing I want to go back to, the skill 1 real quick before I forget this. The skill 1 is like meh, right? I want to say this. The skill 1 is meh except for like the damage. The dots for 1 turn, who cares, right? But it could have been a skill that does nothing for, I guess. But it's usually when you look at a lot of these units, they do something. Like if he would have defense braked, if he would have slowed the enemy, if he would have done something, fine. But like continuous damage is just whatever. Because it's like continuous damage is not going to really help you in too many places of the game as of these days. Like that are really important, right? That you would need to build this guy. Like you could like bringing dots into like PvP scenarios like guild content or arena. It's like I don't know about too many, good dot teams, to help cleave arena. I don't know too many dot teams that you would bring into World Guild Battle or something like that. And you certainly don't have any dot teams for any of the Kairos dungeons. I mean, if you're bringing him for dots, obviously, that's not the point. That doesn't matter. But it's just like, skill 1 doesn't matter, right? And I know I'm being, again, super critical of it, but it's just like, that's what I'm going to do. If the skill's good, I'm going to make, I'm going to glaze the fuck out the skill. But if it's bad, it's just like, I'm going to sit here and point it out. So skill 1, continuous damage is stupid. Skill 2, the attack bar absorb is not bad at all. I mean, with the attack bar absorb, like back in the day, I know it used to be really good back in the day. Like, you could go like up against like an enemy in RTA, and if you attack, like for example, their Vertiheal with this skill, even if Vertiheal had a 10% of attack bar, you would still get 50% attack bar, even though Verd never had 50%. They, they tweaked it, and if Verd has 10% attack bar and you get 50% of the attack bar, or if you absorb 50% of the enemy's attack bar, you're only getting that 5%, right? So, it could still be useful though, because especially since you get it every 2 turns, if you can outspeed the enemy, which you are, you're going to build this guy fast, and you could violent proc and all that, I mean, you could get, this could be really crazy. I mean, depending on how you build him. He could go off, right? But, it's not bad at all. His skill 3 is called Sensation, which, Sensation, wow. Okay, that's a weird, It's gotta be, it's like Sensation seems like the name of a support skill. But, blows up a ray of light to inflict damage 2 times to all enemies. So AoE multi-hit. The first attack removes 1 beneficial effect from each enemy's. What is with the wording? With a 50% chance. And the second attack increases the enemy's chances of landing a glancing hit for 3 turns with a 75% chance every 4 turns. So there's a lot to unpack with this skill. It is not, it's not a bad skill, but it's also not a good skill. Like, if this skill were a grade, I'd give it like a C+, right? It does a job, right? If you want it to, if you brought him for like stripping the enemy, which is like, that's why you would bring him. Otherwise you'd just probably bring like the dark one instead. If you need damage, you're bringing the dark one. But if you're bringing the light one, you're probably bringing him for a skill 3, right? It's just like, I'm glad it's AoE. 2 hit. The first attack removes 1 beneficial effect. I think that's like where there's 2 problems with this skill, right? First one being removes 1 beneficial effect. So if you enter like the arena and he's faster than everyone, like if he's the first to move, it's like, yeah, cool, because everyone's just gonna have like, the will rune on them. You know, they're going to have immunity for 1 turn. So you could strip into the glancing, and then your next unit, also being very fast, can crowd control the enemy. But it's just like, what if you face like a unit like Wusa, who, if I build Wusa, I'm building my Wusa fast, right? I'm making sure he's fast as possible, so when the battle starts, my Wusa goes, places immunity and shield on everyone, right? I believe that's what Wusa does. And it's just like, there's a chance that he uses skill, like you use skill 3, and you strip the shield but not the immunity, right? Which is like, you want to strip the immunity and not the shield. If they could change that to remove all beneficial effects, I think you pretty much got this guy in the bag, right? It's like, if you can make it to where it removes all beneficial effects and not just one, I think that makes him good, but it's just one, right? And it's with a 50% chance. But, and the second part is glancing hit for 3 turns, which, it's just, like, I don't know. Like, glancing is, again, a good skill, or a good debuff. It's almost like dots for me. Like, it seems like you're going to be using this guy in PvP. If I'm being honest, I'm not using him in PvE. There's no reason to use him in PvE. There are better units that strip, especially amongst LDs. Especially with attack bar reduction. And, again, units that can strip. And I think there are some that strip and place glancing, if I recall. But it's just, the glancing just doesn't seem super useful to me. I mean, I could see scenarios where it will work, like if you're facing like a Verd, it's like having the Verd glance on you is what you want. But it's just like, you're not going to necessarily need it unless, I mean, you could, I guess Giant's Abyss, you could potentially use him in Giant's Abyss, but it's just like, why would you, right? I don't know. He's definitely a PvP oriented monster. Like, I would use him in, like, if I were to use him, I'm using him in, like, Arena, or, like, maybe, like, Siege Battle or something like that. But I'm going to give this guy probably, like, a 5 or a 6 out of 10. It's got to be, like, something like that. Like, he's okay, right? He's not a bad unit. It's just he's not necessarily a good one either. I mean, he's not bad. I mean, he has his usage. You can use him. Like, I don't want people to be like, oh, you're wrong. He's not bad. Watch me. I'm about to use him. And then you use him successfully. You can. I'm not saying you can't. But it's just, there are other units, amongst LDs especially, that can do the same job, pretty much. But, I mean, mixed with his leader skill, absorption, it's just all of his skills feel random, right? Like, he feels like randomly thrown together, right? Like, you go into a toy factory, and it's like they get the legs of Optimus Prime, and then they get, like, the torso of Goku, and then they get the head of, like, Spider-Man and put it on top. It's like, it's a mixed bunch, right? So it's just like dots, attack bar absorb, and then AoE strip into a glancing. It's weird, but let's see the monster info. Let's see what people have to say. Oh, you can see early 2015 players here. He is good for lower to mid-level players. Despair focus, attack accuracy. Dude. For the lower levels, you could use fatal energy, attack accuracy. Okay. Somebody said, ooh, he's a good support. Is he now? Yours is pretty fast. He's not on damage, though. So you built yours as a support. Which is like, at this point, it's like, I'm sorry, I gotta show you guys something. Okay, so, you guys said, like, that comment said he's a good support. Where is it? I believe it's this one. This one. You could literally build the LD free-to-play homunculus support. This one removes all beneficial effects on all enemies. So it does all beneficial effects, not just one. And then decreases attack speed and stuns them for 1 turn. So this is just better. It's better to just build the free-to-play LD. You know what I mean? So it's just... There's already better options free-to-play, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, here's another comment. Honestly, pretty good. You want to give him speed and a good amount of damage. 200 to 400 defense or more if possible. And then some HP. So, violent shield. Hey. Okay, let me tell you something. Don't build them damage if you're just going to not go crit. Okay? Don't build them damage. Just don't build them damage. You'd be better going speed, crit damage, HP, and then getting the attack and crit rate and all that in the subs. Right? And he's not too fast. It's like you need grinds, buddy. Roll out the defense percent, in my opinion. Roll out the defense percent on this one. Actually, never mind. Actually, no, you could change it to crit damage or attack percent. This one, you know what, that one's not that bad. You didn't have any other violent runs? Like, you picked the one, like, oh my god. Okay, one, this rune should have never made it on him. This is a support rune, right? You gem out the crit rate and put in, like, speed. And that goes on a support. You want your, like, for him, I feel like the substat should be first off speed, prioritize speed, crit rate, crit damage, attack, right? And then if you can get some in HP or defense. Trust me, he'll do more than enough stripping, even without tons of accuracy. So this rune right here is alright, right? It could be better, but you could have put, like, attack percentage in it. But you didn't. You picked, like, he picked the runes with the least amount of crit rate. He didn't go crit at all. This one had... Why am I complaining here? And then, like, this rune. It's like he literally just threw runes on him. I'm sorry, we can't. We're moving on. We're moving... Okay, well, actually, one more. Thank you. At least someone got close. So, like it. Okay, that's not bad. Again, not bad. You could have put attack percent. I would have brought attack percent over the accuracy. Since it's like, before I ever gem my things, I kind of try to take a look at what stats are there. That 6% accuracy is not going to help you. Going from 6% to 12% is not going to make that big of a difference. If you were going from, like if you're by default from, like, your runes, like, at 50%, then I'd say, yeah, start going a little bit into accuracy, because you're going to have a pretty decent chance, right? But, whatever. This one, I'd take the HP percent out and put crit damage. Can you put attack percent? I believe you can on slot 3. Huh, I can't remember. This one, I don't think you could really done anything with that. I don't think you... Yeah, this is not bad. This one has no crit rate. Not that you need it. Could have taken out the HP for crit damage. And then this one, again, the HP, but yours is at least better than the other ones. You need to put artifacts, but yeah, let's just go to the usage. So it's like I thought. World Guild Battle on LD only accounts. Yep. Arena. Rift Dungeon. Okay. And then, okay, yeah, he's literally not being used. What are his statistics? So for me, like I said earlier, I think, like, Swift Blade for early game players, Violent Blade, Violent Revenge, Violent Nemesis, especially with, like, how he's turn cycling attack bar. But you could also go Vampire. I mean, it's possible, right? But Swift Blade, Despair Blade. Why? Don't go Despair Blade. I don't know why I'm being so judgmental, but Swift Focus, Despair Focus. Don't go Despair. Or actually, you could go Despair. He does have the AoE. I don't know why I keep forgetting about his third skill. So Despair. I guess you can go Despair, but I want to build him Despair. Like, here's the thing. You're going one of two things. You're going for, either you're going for damage, or you're going for utility. If you're going for damage, go Swift Blade, right? Or Rage Blade. If you're going for utility, go, like, Violent, right? Because Violent means you're going to take tons of turns. But speed, crit damage, attack is the proper way to use them. In my opinion, again, this guy's like a 5 out of 10. I mean, he can be used. If you already have the Dark Pierret, go for this guy, right? Get him. Fill up your Pokédex. But let's take a look at the Pierret. Let's see. Let's hope she's somewhat better. Okay, so here we are, Luna, the Dark Pierret. And let's go over her skills. So first off, her accuracy lead, universal. Increase the accuracy of ally monsters by 30% everywhere. Accuracy lead, universal. Attacks by throwing 2 cards, each having a 50% chance to remove a beneficial effect. Great first skill. Great first skill. She's already seeming like a better choice, but stripping on her first skill, multi-hit with the 50% chance, is not bad at all. Skill 2, Poison Shot. Attacks with magic card and inflicts continuous damage to the enemy for 3 turns with an 80% chance every 3 turns. And the harmful effect rate goes up when fully skilled up. Why does her skill 1 seem like a skill 2 and her skill 2 seem like a skill 1? Like, this looks like a skill 1, right? And this looks like a skill 2. I'm not complaining. I would rather have this be skill 1. And I'll explain that in a second. But it's a mess, skill 2. I mean, the skill 2 is not crazy. I mean, again, with just... I mean, you're not bringing her because of her skill 2. But it's just... Man... It's just like, if this was like a defense break at least, it's like, I feel like that would be better, but whatever. I mean, dots, man. I hate how they did dots dirty, man. Everyone was building like Dot's team, and then it's just Abyss had to go and ruin that. You can't use dots here. It's like, God dang it, why do you do that? Man, Dark Force. Locks down the enemy target with the power of darkness to inflict damage that's proportionate to the enemy's max HP. And decreases the target's attack bar by 50%. This attack recovers your attack bar by 100% when used with full HP every 4 turns. That is actually not bad, actually, of a third skill. So damage according to enemy's max HP. And decreases the target's attack bar. Let's talk about that. So actually, I like this skill, believe it or not. I wish it wasn't so long. Every 4 turns? Wow. But enemy's max HP, I mean, I could already tell you, you can use, like, and it's a single attack. That's beautiful too, right? So you can use this technically in Giants. If you're like me and you have an LD only account, I want to use this in Giants, right? I can use this in Dragons. I can use this in a lot of places. And when you go through her skills, like skill 1, like, her skill 1 is multi-hit AoE, or not AoE, but it's a multi-hit strip. So it's like, imagine if she combo attacks with someone. When units combo attack, they use by default their skill 1, unless they are the unit initiating the combo attack, right? So it's like, if she combos with Crow, she's stripping, right? Which is really good. Plus, when she does use this skill 3, she has a high, like 4 stars and 5 stars have high base attack, so it's like, she could do pretty good damage, plus decreasing the enemy's attack bar. So, one thing I want to talk about is the Light Ninja on his skill 2 had absorb the enemy's attack bar. And we already talked about that. If you absorb an enemy's attack bar who has 50% themselves, you're only getting 25% of that, right? Again, beforehand, if you absorb 50% of the attack bar, you get 50%, right? Regardless of the enemy's attack bar and how full or empty it is. But with this, with her skill 3, she's decreasing the enemy's attack bar by 50%, right? Which, again, it's just like, I don't know. It's, oh my gosh. Okay, and then this attack recovers your attack bar by 100%, so she procs into another turn. So even though this says every 4 turns when fully skilled up, technically it's like every 3 turns, because she uses this and then gets another turn immediately if her HP is full. So, which shouldn't be too hard in most of these teams. So I'm thinking, if I were to rate her, dude, I'm honest to God probably rating her like a 7 out of 10. I think she's better than Jin. Like, I could see you using her in a lot of PvE dungeons, and even in some PvP, like in some of the guild battles. I mean, she decreases attack bar, enemies max HP, the dots we don't care about, but the skill 1. So skill 1 and skill 3 are great, right? I mean, just comparing like usable skills, I mean, the ninja's best skill is skill 2, and then his skill 3 is pretty decent, and then his skill 1 is like meh, right? Her skill 1 is good, her skill 3 is good, and her skill 2 is whatever, right? I like her more. I like her more. I'm giving her a 7 out of 10. I think she's just better utility-wise. Plus, design. Okay, we're not reading that first one. Great single target nuker with uses in dungeon and arena. Staple of my arena offense. Like so others can see how to ruin her. I don't think he's going to have her ruined well because it's 2016. Psych. Never mind. Rage focus. Your runes could be better. You don't have to go speed. If you would go attack or damage attack. I mean, I guess he went speed for so she'd move fast enough so she would actually get this skill off and then take another turn and do one of these. But it's just like, you can go attack, crit damage, attack, and then use her in PvE. And she just do so much damage. I love your build, by the way. Almost 100% crit rate. 212% crit damage. 1,457 attack. I mean, not bad. And additional damage by speed. Skill 1 crit damage. Skill 3 crit damage. I love the crit damage. And then reflected damage. So, really good. Let's see, any more? Don't like this comment. Really don't. I have nothing about her. Just got her from Hall of Heroes. I don't like the comment. You don't tell me what to do. Yes, you should resign. Luna is a great monster. Just build her right. Attack, percent, or speed, and crit rate, and crit damage. And she do big damage. Big damage. You want speed? No. Okay, first. Okay. 1. Look what. You. Okay. So you built her HP percent slot 6, which I don't agree with necessarily. And it didn't even give you much HP. Like, it didn't even give you that much HP. Should just want to attack, crit damage, attack. 1, I'm not going to slip past the fact that you're using a 5-star rune. And the 5-star rune, it's like I would get it if like the 5-star rune had good subs. Like, then I could let that slide, right? But it's like, it's not even that crazy. Like, I feel like if you're going to use a rune, make sure the rune has at least like 2. Like, if it's a purple rune, make sure it has at least 2 of the 3 stats that you want. And if it's legendary rune, at least 3 of the 4. Because when you roll it or gem it, you can gem out the terrible stat that you don't want. Like here, even if you did roll resistance, you could have switched it out for like attack percent. But you didn't. You know? This one is a blue and it's not even fully skilled up. Or leveled up. This is not a bad rune, actually. It's not that bad. Tons of crit damage. But, you know what? I'll accept it. Let's go to usage. Yeah, Abyss. Wow, people are using the hell out of Tashar. Tashar's good, though. Giant's Keep Abyss. Dragon's Lair. Yeah, I can see Dragon's Lair. Because of skill 1, she strips. So there's a chance to strip there. And then enemies max HP. And then decreases attack bar. This is almost an LD only team, too. But, almost. Rift of Worlds dungeon. Yeah, you could use it in the Rift of Worlds like Beast dungeon. Big single target damage. A bit in arena. Interesting. Oh, well, yeah, because you're using all Pierret. And Rift of Worlds. Enemies max HP. She doesn't really do anything, though. She literally brings nothing but damage. Anyways. Statistics. Rage Blade, Fatal Blade. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the one you want to go. You want to go Rage Blade, Fatal Blade. Those are the 2 builds that I think are best, in my opinion. Attack or speed, which I can agree with either one of those. I would go attack percent, crit damage percent, and then attack percent. Correct. Yeah. So, those are the 2 units. Let's go back to the Hall of Heroes. Okay, so when it comes down to picking one of these 2 units, I think it's pretty obvious of which unit I'm going to pick. Jin is alright, right? He's okay. I don't think he's terrible. I think you could find a usage in any of these monsters. Heck, you could find a usage in the Wind Undyne, Fire Ninetales Fox, and the Water Rakshasa, right? But it's just like, as I've shown you, especially with like the light homunculus support, there are better options than him. Free to play. You can bring the light homunculus support into arena or guild content, and she perform better, right? She does better than him. It's just like his skill 3 can use work. If he would remove all beneficial effects on skill 3, and then you maybe add like a stun, like for like 1 or 2 turns at the very minimum, it's like he immediately becomes better, right? It's just all of his skills are so like meh. Like skill 2, his skill 2 is I think the best part of his kit, in my opinion. His skill 3 is whatever, right? It's just like there are better AoE strips, again, as I've shown you. So it's just, or no, I meant to say dark homunculus spore. I think I said light. But Jin is meh, right? I think the person you should go for is Luna, right? The dark Pierret. Because you can use her in a lot of PvE scenarios. If you're running an LD only account like mine, or if you're even just running a normal account, enemies max HP damage plus decreasing attack bar by 50%, really big. I mean, it's a pretty big deal. Plus, she gets another turn. If she's using it at full HP, she procs another turn. She can be great for the Light Beast. I'm going to try and use her in Giants and Dragons eventually later on in the week, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I mean, I'm going the Dark Pierret. But we're going to keep it. That's where we're going to end it. I mean, it's a pretty simple answer. But I thank you guys for watching the video with me. I am so sorry, by the way, if I sound stuffy or I'm breathing hard. It's just, I don't know what it is today. My throat hurts, and it's just like, I don't know. It's hard to regulate my breathing, so whatever. But I'll see you guys in the next Hall of Heroes or later on in the week when we test out Luna and see just how good she really is. So until then, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.